Half past the hour. Welcome back to the Weather Channel. Here's another update on Tropical Storm Alberto. One person we've been keeping in touch with all morning long is Mark Mancuso. He's live down in Destin, Florida. Mark, it still looks like you're in the lull, the center of circulation, maybe the eye of Tropical Storm Alberto. What can you tell us right now?
Yeah, we certainly are, Rick. We are in the lull of Alberto. For the past hour or so, the rain has tapered off. The winds have decreased quite a bit. But as we take a look now down to the south here, notice that the clouds are moving in from the other direction. They're coming in from the west, moving from west to east or left to right on your screen there. So that tells us that it's still going to get a little bit wet here later on, so the rain is not entirely over. Looks like more showers will be returning, and certainly we don't want people going into the water out here. We've seen a few people try to go into the water, but there's just some terrible riptides here. Rick?
Now, about an hour and a half ago, Mark, conditions were very turbulent, very rough seas, dark clouds, high winds. What can you show us concerning that when you were at the height of the storm?
It was just incredible earlier. The winds were whipping. We had winds gusting up to hurricane force, we think, here. And as you can see, that the water was rising up right along the beach there. 40 feet of beach there, all covered up with water. And the water even came out to the parking lot a few times as a few big waves came crashing on in. But it really became intense as the height of the storm moved in. And as the storm ran out of room, then the winds decreased and the rains decreased as well.
Mark, have you heard anything about damage in particular?
Yeah, we have heard some reports of some minor damage in the area, down tree limbs and power lines. And we've also heard of some reports of some damage on Highway 98 between Fort Walton and Destin. We think the road is closed there, and we think that the water has moved over the seawall there and done some damage to the road. So we think that roadway may be closed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark Mancuso, live in Destin, Florida. We'll check back in with Mark in about a half an hour. Now, John, Tropical Storm Alberto has moved inland this morning. The hurricane warnings have been dropped down to tropical storm warnings. How fast would you expect this system to weaken?
Well, I expect it to weaken quite rapidly as far as the winds are concerned. And once the eye or the center of a storm gets inland, a tropical system, then it's cut off from its source of energy, and it will weaken pretty fast. So the winds are going to die down. The hurricane warnings have been dropped. Tropical storm warnings are still up. On that area to the east of the storm, from, say, Destin over toward Apalachicola, they're going to have this strong onshore wind coming in, and the winds won't die down there quite as fast. And that is why that the hurricane warnings have been dropped to tropical storm warning. What we're very concerned about, though, is this very heavy rain, and we expect that to shoot up here through the western part of eastern part of Alabama and into Georgia. And tomorrow we're going to be concerned about the Appalachians, heavy rain in the Appalachians.
Okay, we're concerned about that, of course. How about a comparison? You were talking earlier about Frederick that moved through this same area in '79, and Eloise. How does this system compare to those two hurricanes?
Well, Frederick and Eloise were powerful hurricanes. They were both Category 3. This one did not quite make it to a hurricane. It almost did, and it was really doing it when the eye went inland. It's a good thing it did. But there's really no comparison between a Category 3 and a Category 1. Much, much more damage with those two hurricanes.
Okay, thank you very much, John and Mark, live in Destin, Florida. We'll be back at the top of the hour with much more on Tropical Storm Alberto.